Hey guys, this is 97 Lego Maniac with another custom minifigure showcase video. Today we're taking a look at 5 minifigures from the original Teen Titans series. Now, this series has is a really good show. I love the original series. I remember watching this as a kid, but I didn't really remember much of it. So at one point, I decided to watch it all again, and I enjoyed it still. So I decided, hey, why not make some custom minifigures? Now, I just wanted to say, apologize that the video didn't came out sooner. It's just I was just busy with working in college. I mean, college is now getting super difficult, not because of the classes are actually not that bad, but I am super stressed out in college because of like the next year plans. Like I'm figuring out where to live, what I should do, and it's just super complicating. I mean, I'm getting so stressed out about it. I mean, I even argued with my parents. It's been really tough. Even like figuring out how to get back home like during like breaks and stuff. I mean, it's been so hard. I mean, I see why college is difficult. It's not because of classes. That's what I thought they were talking about. But it's just managing your time and to manage all this like your life. So enough of me talking about it about college. I do have another news I want to say before I get to this video. Sam Shotgun22SD just is gonna up editing the second episode for, or probably he's already done. Depends on how late I make this video, like edit it and stuff. Because editing does take quite some time, despite the fact that I use Movie Maker. And episode 3 will be up on my second channel, so the link will be down below, so check that out. So without further ado, let's go on and continue with this showcase. A lot of people have asked me like if I was gonna make like a Robin minifigure or Nightwing or stuff like that, you know, like in the Batman comics. Well, I did make Robin, but not from like the comics, but from the Teen Titans show. And I'll may make a Robin in a feature in a DCU cinematic universe, because obviously we're gonna get a Robin in the future DC films. But so far, this is my only I almost said Nightwing there, Robin custom minifigure. And to start with the detail, like from top to bottom, like I'm gonna do always, is for the hair was actually a Widow's Peak hairpiece. And what I did, I sculpted green stuff on top to make it look spiky like in the show. Now, the spikes aren't that accurate because in the show, the thing about sculpting hair, especially when it comes to like anime, when your character has spiky hair, there's like, usually like if I turn this, if he's like looking to the right, the hair would spike up 4 directions one way. But then when you turn the head like and forwards, the spikes would like kind of like switch places. You know what I mean? It's like, so it's really hard to tell. So what I try to do, if I try to make a Robin figure, I'm gonna have to add more spikes than usual. So it's like if I rotate him this side, you guys can generally see about 4 strikes, like 4 spikes. And if I turn him this way, you guys would see another set of 4. His hair really doesn't look that great in a front view. I mean, when sculpting, if you guys know, sculpting isn't really my thing, and it's something I need to work on. And if you guys look at this side, you will see 4 series of spikes. So yeah, that's basically what I did. And for the head is completely painted by me. I mean, if you guys know, like Robin in this show, they made him more serious instead of more like, you know, comical. Like have him like goofing around and giving him a cheerful attitude. Yeah, because that's usually Dick Grayson. Even when he's Nightwing, he always has this cheerful enthusiasm. But in this show, he is just as serious as Batman, as Bruce Wayne. I like that interpretation because it's great that he's pretty serious for a kid in a kids show. But I do like that because it does really make this character likable and gives him a good role for a leader. So, and his torso was painted too. Like it really wasn't that bad, really. My main problem was like trying to make sure the cape line up top has a line, but it's a really simple torso, really simple arm detailing, and a really simple leg design. And for the cape, this was actually a Cape Madness one because I ran out of ordinary Lego capes, so I ordered one from Cape Madness. The thing about Cape Madness, their capes compared to Legos, their Cape Madness came out a lot more thicker has a lot more thicker feel than Legos. So that's just something you guys need to know. And painting capes are not that great because the thing is, if you paint on one side, it will bleed through the other. So it took a lot of coating to actually get this color, to make sure it's solid yellow and solid black. And this is a black cape when it started out. I can't just like paint yellow and hopefully it will stay black on the one side, because that doesn't happen. So you have to alternate back and forth when it comes to capes. And he does come with one weapon, and that's a staff. I only gave him a staff. I was thinking of making his birdarangs, but that was going to be complicated. And I think it's just better when he has one hand free. I mean, and just carries a staff around. So yeah, hold up. I just remembered that I forgot to mention that the cape was actually trimmed down just a little bit. The cape was like up to here, but I cut it because his cape was pretty short in the show, and I didn't really show his back at all. I mean, here's his back. I mean, I don't want to ruin his cape, so I'm gonna carefully take it off. And he does have back detailing or his belt, and that's basically it for all the details. Sorry that I forgot to mention that. That's basically it for Dick Grayson. So now here we have Cyborg for our second minifigure, and I have to say I really like the way he turned out. I mean, to start with his head. His head was all painted by me. Like his eyes was actually a lot more simple than others you'll see, like BeastBoy, Raven, and Starfire, because it's really just a semicircle with a dot for a black eye and a thick eyebrow on top. And obviously I only have to paint one, so I don't have to worry about symmetry that much, because I can easily fix that around like his red eye here. And yeah, so. And I'll tell you guys like which parts are sculpted. The back is sculpted, the front is sculpted. I think this is the first time I ever showed his back. His arms are sculpted, except for these little pieces. I'll let you guys know what I did for that. His gauntlets are sculpted. The feet are sculpted, like the top part here. That's why it looks a little curved. His kneecaps are sculpted. These side pieces are sculpted, except for those little circular pieces, and the back of his head sculpted. You see that, that little blue dot. Now, a lot of people wonder, like, how did I make Cyborg tall? Because here's a normal minifigure, like I have BeastBoy here, and you can see, like, even when Cyborg is bald, he's relatively taller, because usually standard bald minifigures would be shorter than standard minifigures with hairpiece or anything. And what I did, I used, if you guys know Bill Boffle on Flickr, I used his way for the method for the legs, and that is basically, if you have a standard minifigure leg, I'm going to push Cyborg away for a second. What you do, you would get an X-Acto knife and cut the toes. Trust me, cutting toes off the Lego minifigure is actually a lot simpler than you think. Once you cut the toes, you would then add this base plate on top, so that way it's like his legs are extended. I mean, you guys probably know the Moose Figs. He did this too, and this method was actually made by Billy, so yeah. And also, what do you have to do after that? Obviously, the stud is a little bit wider than the minifigure feet, and so you have to like sand this and make sure it's relatively flat. I mean, I didn't really do a good job sanding this, because if you can look at the bottom of the minifigure, you can see that it doesn't look that good. I mean, this is my first time doing it. I mean, I learned from that mistake. And for his arm, I also extended his arm. And how I did it, here's a normal minifigure arm, and you see it's a little bit tall, longer than you think. And what I did, I basically got another minifigure arm. I cut like a little bit of it, and I glued it onto. I basically glued it onto the base, and that's how I made the arms long. And to get this out of the way, how I made these short discs like on his arms, his shoulders, and a little bit on his legs, I basically used part of the antenna piece. If you guys remember, I mean, like, I used the bottom parts for Green Arrow, actually for his bow, and I had these left over. And what I did, I cut them up into a series of discs, and I glued them onto the sculpted armor. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention, this triangle piece is also sculpted. Those are actually like his elbows. And yeah, and painting the blue circuit lines are actually basically my own detailed designs, because I'm not gonna copy every single thing. And his front chest is is big, and the also is bad because he's supposed to have this like bulkiness, and I think it looks good. And yeah, and his leg has a lot of detail. This has to be the most difficult minifigure because white paint is hard to use, and even though I did use white legs for the base, unfortunately there are some green stuff that got smudged over and I can't get rid of, so I have to like paint over them. Painting white is very difficult for some apparent reason. I mean, it's like, I guess because it's just so light that it's so easy to see all the brush strokes comparing to like blue or black or red, like those colors, you can't really see the brush strokes that often. But for white, you can clearly see it, and you have to use a lot more water than usual for some apparent reason. His hands were also like painted, and I added a coat of sealant so that way they won't scratch off very easily. As you can see, even I'm scratching it lightly just in case. But even if I scratch it lightly, I mean, I actually did a little bit. I actually add some pressure there. It still doesn't come off, which is good because I don't want, because paints can peel off from hands super easily. And yeah, and for his weapon, I basically used, I didn't know what to do for the weapon, but I realized that I can just take off his hand, add a stud. It has some like painted detail, and basically plug it in his arm, and it fits. It doesn't fit super well. I mean, you all you need to do is like just like leave it there, and yeah, that's basically his cannon. But I don't really display him with a cannon anyway, so it doesn't really matter. I mean, to be honest, I half-assed this. But yeah, but I think Cyborg turned out excellent, and I think I talked about this figure way too much. But yeah, all these detailing, I just like how it turned out. Raven is one of, I don't know why, it's so ironic that Raven is actually one of my favorite, is actually, in my opinion, the funniest character. You would think that BeastBoy is funny because he makes like these corny jokes, or that Starfire is funny because she is completely ignorant of everything that's going on, or even Cyborg because he and BeastBoy are both goofballs. But I think Raven is just the most sarcastic, is the most hilarious one because she has these like sarcastic humor. She has these like this type of humor that I enjoy, like, you know, like anti-humor, sarcasm. I mean, she's just hilarious in the show, and she wasn't supposed to be hilarious. I find that pretty funny. And what do you guys think? I mean, I couldn't be the only one. So yeah, to go over the detailing, first, this is a Cape Madness hood. I was originally going to use Lego's standard hood, but I knew that it's not going to work for Raven, because if you think about it, like, I'm going to grab one from Kylo Ren. The thing about the hoods, they covered most of the eyes, and her eyes are kind of far apart. Usually, because if I compress them into this hood for anime eyes, it doesn't work well. So I knew that this hood would not work for Raven. So I remember that Cape Madness makes hoods too. I mean, I'm actually going to order more of these, so I'm going to use them for future figures, like mostly for Star Wars. So yeah, especially Kylo Ren. I mean, he needs it, and probably a Luke figure. So yeah, and also to get her powers out of the way, she also has a Cape Madness cape, like, you know, it's in dark blue, because I'm running out of capes, so I'm just ordering more from Cape Madness. And here's like the back. In her back, she has this like some sort of like I wouldn't say it's a utility belt. It's just a standard belt, really, that kind of goes off the side. I mean, the fact that it's not even, I don't know, something like that just like makes me think it's so cool. And she has like the blue outlines like for her breast, and, you know, like for a female body, because, you know, in anime they usually have those outlinings, so I incorporate those. She has a dark blue like paint on her wrist, and then these like same emblem designs. I mean, I love how they turned out, and her legs have these like the pointed kneecaps, because she has that in the show, and she has the dark blue boots. I mean, she is really a simple minifigure. Really, she wasn't that difficult, and to capture her powers, I basically used like Lego's disc, and I painted white around it to represent her main power, her main abilities. So that's basically Raven. I mean, that really didn't take that long to explain. So that's basically it. Starfire here, was also a difficult minifigure to paint, but then she turned out to be one of my favorites to date, mostly because of the eyes, like how the eyes and the face turned out. I thought it was great. I mean, I wish I could zoom in to focus on the details, but it's not gonna focus in that well. But yeah, I just really like how her face turned out. I mean, to me that was an achievement. So to start with her hair. Her hair was actually this Dumbledore hairpiece that I sculpted some side bangs, and I sculpted her bangs. I mean, those were actually pretty difficult. What I did, I got green stuff. I used an X-Acto knife and cut out the shapes and wait for it to dry, and then I just leave it to dry before I actually place it onto the headpiece. But I had to sand it first before putting it on, because it does have that some sort of a peak on this hair that kind of stands out, doesn't really look good. So yeah, that's how I made her hair. So yeah, and her face, again, the face turned out excellent. I'll take it off and hopefully you guys can see it a little bit better. Yeah, the eyes turned out amazing, and it really captured the likeness. I mean, I stink when I'm painting like cat eyelashes. You know that I believe that's what they're called. You know those eyelashes that females have. They are difficult to paint, but I somehow pulled it off, which is great. And her torso was actually pretty difficult because the thing is, this arm was actually not a normal flesh arm. It was actually a dark sand blue, and mixing sand blue has to be the most difficult challenge to date. It was so hard. I mean, my palette, my paint palette that I use, like at least like I have like this whole chunk of area of like failed attempts of sand blue, but I think I kind of got it right. The sand blue still doesn't match up. I mean, you can obviously tell by the lighting, but I thought it turned out all right though. And she doesn't really have a belly button in the show. I just added it because without it, it's weird. So yeah, and all these like black outlines. I mean, I have to use like acrylic black gloss, because if I don't use that and I use standard acrylic black paint, you can't really see the detailing, like her boobs, like, and the outlinings around her purple outfit. You couldn't see that well, and you can't see like the waist figure that much. So that's why you had to use acrylic. And her gauntlets have like these like painted sides, like, you know, the emblems. And I just realized that she had this some sort of a arm band thing. So what I did, I got a toothpick and just scrape off the flesh paint off, and yeah. And her back is basically nothing really. I mean, it's just this, nothing too exciting. And her legs were actually difficult also, because I always have to use a gloss paint, and working with gloss is just hard because it can come off really easily, and if you don't put enough water on it, it's not going to look that good. But it's a good thing that they turned out great. I mean, they went all around 4 sides. I mean, I could have easily bought Starfire from Bricklink, but you know, I just don't want to do that, because to be honest, Lego's Starfire, it's not too great and too incredible. I mean, it has great printing. I mean, I love the arm printing. I love the fact that the printing does go at least around 4 sides or 2 sides of the legs. But again, the hair wasn't that accurate, and I wanted to paint the actual face, not the anime face, not the standard Lego eyes that you would expect. So that's it for Starfire, and she has to be one of my best. And yeah, you know, her like starbolts, I believe that's what they're called, starbolts, starlight, I don't know. So yeah, that's basically it for Starfire. Now we move on to BeastBoy, and that's shout out to Lightning Bricks, because he likes BeastBoy, because he is an awesome character anyway. So again, like Starfire, I really loved how his face turned out. It's basically these two have to be my favorite out of all these minifigures. Like, these minifigures are great. I love them, but not as much as these two. I really love how they turned out. It's just the face. The face is what makes it. Now, I based his face off some sort of Google image I believe it's a face that he had like during season 5 when he was all determined and he's not like a kid anymore. So I really like that interpretation of BeastBoy, and he's really awesome. So Garfield here, yeah, that's his name, Garfield. It has werewolf ears, the werewolf hairpiece, which a lot of people abuse to make a Rick Grimes figure, and it was really hard to like make olive green, but not as much as sand blue. Sand blue was just difficult, almost near impossible. His torso was actually the same color as like the purple was actually the same color as Starfire's before, but I was like, no, that doesn't work. I mean, this is what the purple looks like. It's kind of like a grape jamish. I mean, I believe that's what the paint was called, but what I did, I added a little bit more purple because it was a little bit too much pink before. So I did that, I fixed it, and his belt, what I find odd is that the fact that his belt does not have a connecting piece for the circle. I find that pretty odd, but hey, that's what the cartoon did. I'm sticking with it. And the boots were actually, the laces were actually like not that good. So you can see the you know, the black lines here. They're not straight, and but you know, it doesn't matter because the face is awesome, right, guys? Yeah, and it does continue all sides, and that's basically it for BeastBoy. I mean, is there really much I need to talk about? I feel like I talked about Cyborg so much because, you know, he has the most work, and BeastBoy has the less amount of detail. I mean, I guess you can argue Raven or BeastBoy, since Raven is just nothing but eyes. I mean, I guess the only part, again, the eyes aren't that great compared to BeastBoy and Raven, but you know, it's regardless of the detail, he's still an awesome minifigure. That's all the minifigures I have, guys, and we can just conclude the video. So that's it for the video, guys. Thank you for watching this video. If you did, leave a like in the comment down below. Follow me on all my social media sites, which will be in the descriptions. And so yeah, thank you guys for like supporting me. I mean, to those who are supporting me, I do have like, with like 3,000 subscribers, my videos aren't really reaching, aren't getting a good amount of views as I wanted it to be. I mean, I'm not complaining or anything. It's just something I just feel kind of upsetting because I just feel discouraged. It's like not a lot of people are watching my videos or giving some feedback or anything that can help me, because I do put a lot of effort in these minifigures, and the fact that it didn't reach my expectations, I do kind of find that slightly disappointing. Well, to me, I mean, I mostly blame myself, like not you guys. It's just like, what am I doing wrong? So yeah, enough of that. I mean, really, I mean, I'm feeling this way because planning out for college, like what am I gonna do in the future for next year. I mean, classes are fine in college, like I said in the beginning of the video. It's just like planning ahead, that seems to be the really tough part. I mean, it's been really tough for me, and I'm getting stressed, but I don't want you guys to feel upset about me, and that's not the point. It's just with all the stuff that's going on, I just need to find some time to like just take it all in and find a way how I can improve much later. Not in this video, but in my life in general. So yeah, that's enough about me. The Hulkbuster tutorial will come up next for a 3,000 subscriber special video. So yeah, that's basically it. So thank you all. Thank you all for supporting these minifigures. I mean, I made so many in the past, and it's really hard to choose my top 10 for this year. I mean, you guys know I put a lot of effort in these minifigures, and that's why I don't really sell them, because it's time consuming, really. And unless I find a way that I can like paint one minifigure in 2 seconds and make like hundreds of them each, and if only I was a supercomputer. If only I were a supercomputer. That's correct grammar. You guys can't get these figures. I mean, really. I mean, I mean, I wish I can sell these, but I just can't, because I treat these as an artwork. It's not something I can just like sell for money, because that's not the whole point of my channel. My #1 goal for this channel is to upload videos with passion, like do something I enjoy and you guys will enjoy. Money is a kind of a second or third reason, because obviously money is important. I mean, I need that to survive. I mean, it's where I get food. It's how I'm gonna get paid. That's the only source of payment for me, and I really need an actual job. So yeah, that's basically it. So yeah, that's enough about me ranting. I don't know how you guys stuck with me, like pouring all my depressing thoughts over you, but anyway, if you guys actually watched this far, again, thank you. It means a lot, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.